Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. Hello Federico.
Hello, Sahir.
I hope it's all well. Maybe we can wait for another minute because the forum just started like a minute ago.
Sure, we can wait.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hi
Hello,
Guillermo.
Hello,
How are
Guillermo.
you?
Thanks for
Good to
joining.
see you. No, it's my
Hello.
pleasure. Thank you.
So right now we have 21, 22 attendees. Um, So I have some slides, Federico. So would you don't mind to take them, some key, key, key points in the chat so that we can consider, because, while presenting, you might miss something. Okay. So very warm welcome to SIOP Global Health Network quarterly business meeting. So welcome to all members who have joined SIOP Global Health Network, and welcome to leaders and welcome to all participants in this meeting. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sparing your time. Actually, we missed one quarterly meeting in the meantime because we were in sort of discussion for transformation in that era. We actually had a leaders meeting in May that was not open to the members. So apologies for that. So we would like to update today about what have been happening in this last 6 months or so, and what are our plans as we move forward. So this is the agenda um, which we circulated. Federico and I circulated through SIOP Connect, and we'll try. I just adjusted a little bit the bullet points in terms of their their sequence. So as I said, welcome to Global Health new working group co-chairs who have just joined over last 3-4 months. We will introduce them, of course, as we move along, and all members and participants. So as per SIOP Connect, we have 1,030 members who have actually joined or subscribed to Global Health Network. So I think that's a good number, and all are, of course, SIOP members. It's not like Cure for Kids. It was like anyone can join. So SIOP members, more than 1,000, they have interest in Global Health Network, and hopefully we will deliver whatever are their interests, and of course we will try to engage them in contributing something for our Global Health Network and SIOP also. So I got some apologies from Caitlin Duffy, Gabby, and Julia Chelenor. Maybe some others we will add if we have some more apologies in the meantime. For those who are not very well familiar, so this slide is just for introduction about what Global Health Network. It was actually established under the leadership of Professor Hans-Peter Wagner and Peter Hessling in 1990s. Hans-Peter Wagner, late professor, he got Lifetime Achievement Award in one of the SIOP Congress, and he passed away in 2022. So our focus is on addressing the unmet needs of children with cancer by fostering practical guidance for delivering cancer care for healthcare professionals caring for children living in low resource settings. So this emphasizes now low resource settings because low resource settings can exist anywhere, even in high income countries. So SIOP GHN has evolved into a global forum for multidisciplinary collaboration on research, education, and advocacy in line with SIOP's vision and mission. You can see the 5 goals of SIOP itself. And we are in transformation process for a better alignment with SIOP's strategic goals. And currently we have 7 working groups. So whosoever are SIOP Global Health Network members, they are invited to join any of these working groups and start contributing. So the uniqueness of SIOP and SIOP Global Health Network is mandatory participation in the leadership positions within not only the Global Health Network itself, but also in the working group. So we must have leadership representation from low and middle income countries, and also high income country folks can also join, and you will see a lot. It's like a mixed distribution in leadership as well as the membership. So we are all set for internal collaboration with SIOP's other networks and engagement with external stakeholders also. So how we function and what is the scope and mandate? Basically, as I said, these are 5 goals of SIOP mission. Our end unit, the functional unit of GHN are the working groups. So the main function for GHN is to align it with SIOP strategy. And of course, we aim and are willing to get connected with...
Sahir, sorry, there's one question.
Yeah, please, Federico, what is that?
Go ahead, whoever raised his hand. I think the Laura Sahir, please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, thank you. I think people are in the waiting room also. I think Amelia enabling them to join. So we connect with the SIOP continental branches, and SIOP Connect is basically the missing link, which actually we didn't have for like 1.5 years. So now it's all working groups and its members and the GHN have direct connections through emails or messaging. And just recently, thanks to Nancy and Tessie and Suzanne, they have launched a WhatsApp group also with different networks and working groups representative. So I put this bar QR code. So if you are not the member of SIOP, of course, you should be a member of SIOP, and then you want to get engaged in SIOP WhatsApp channels, you can use this QR code. So any SIOP member can subscribe as a SIOP GHN member just to go on SIOP Connect and subscribe to the networks and the working groups of their interest. And anyone can compete for being a working group leader. And of course, as I said, we have internal collaboration within same working group with other working groups, and also there is full opportunity to get connected with SIOP's other networks and committees. Basically a working group and then working group leaders, then GHN co-chairs, and then SIOP leadership and collaboration with external partners. This is all what is provided, which is, have a provision to get interacted and do some productive work through these this process of channel. So as I mentioned, we have 7 working groups. We will discuss more about individual working groups during this meeting. Actually, we established for a good governance within SIOP Global Health Network. In 2022, we established a SIOP core steering group, which comprises of 8 members, including 2 co-chairs of GHN itself and 6 selected members out of the working group co-chairs. So that CSC worked very well and contributed a lot for the governance issues, including the Congress program and also scholarship alignment decisions, and also devising the terms of reference, which we did in 2023. And now actually it was like at one time we were 17 working groups. Now we have actually uh, reformed some of the groups, and some groups have get connected to the bigger networks. So considering a less number of working groups, we are working on reshaping CSC in our revised terms of reference. And as possibly it would be one working group leader representing in CSC for the governance meeting. But of course, that is still pending decision, so we will share once it's decided. And there is another entity which is called as steering group. It is like overseen by SIOP GHN steering group. It's like proposed composition has been SIOP GHN co-chairs, all working group co-chairs, and then ex officio members, including SIOP Secretary General and SIOP Continental Presidents. In the previous terms of reference, we aim to have like at least one annual meeting, but this have never happened so far. So we are just in the revision of terms of reference, we're thinking of changing it to advisory group, which would include not only these all members, but also maybe some past co-chairs of Global Health Network, or some very you're very much contributing and efficient working group leaders, and some others who are willing to contribute. And maybe we'll put like biannual meetings of this group to just make sure just overview the progress and any further comments or suggestions. So this steering group might also have little reshape in revised terms of reference. We're working right now on that. And as I said, the terms of reference. So GHN has terms of reference, which we completed in 2023, but because of so much changes, so we are working on its revision. But thanks to the working group leaders, all 7 working groups, they have completed their working groups terms of reference. There are little changes, and one thing which is a liability of each working group to have at least three non-Congress activities within a year. And it's not in the terms of reference, but we suggested in last meetings also that if we can have some small think tank or some steering group within the working group, which can help the co-chairs and try to connect other members of the working groups through different projects or proposals or sharing knowledge or whatever. So for GHN terms of reference, as I said, there are some suggested changes. One change which has been suggested by the governance committee in to make all the networks as a similar in terms of their structure. So there are several networks in SIOP right now, but the networks which are directly represented on SIOP board of directors, they have chair and vice chair positions. So we have also been proposed same, and Federico and I, along with Regine, and Guillermo, we have been discussing on it. So right now we have 2 co-chairs, both co-chairs of Global Health Network, myself and Federico. We are SIOP board members. And in the terms of reference, as you know, it is mandatory that one of the 2 co-chairs must be living and serving in low middle income countries. The other could be from any setting. It could be LMIC or HIC. So we named it in the last terms of reference as LMIC co-chair and journal co-chair. So if we made chair and vice chair, we have thoughtfully think of it, and the current decision which we might put it under discussion is that the chair will be the LMIC co-chair, will be the chair of the SIOP Global Network. But this change will take place from 2025 October onwards. And the vice chair could be from any setting, any income setting. So that will ensure that the SIOP Global Health Network, by the virtue of GHN, there will be representation of a leader from LMIC, although other positions which are open for running elections like scientific committee or other networks or other continental presidents, they can be from any setting, but GHN will make sure that one person that is chair of GHN must be living and serving in lower middle income countries, and that will be the board member. The vice chair position will be journal, and it will not be board member, and maybe sometimes it could be like ad hoc basis can be engaged if chair is not available or anyway. So the permanent chair, the board member will be the chair of GHN. I hope that will be clear, especially for those who know the structure of GHN. Then, as I said, core steering committee that we are reshaping, and also instead of steering group, it will be advisory board. So these are the working groups, existing working groups. You can see the working group names and leaders. So you can see the settings. It's representation from all income countries, US, Turkey, then Armenia. These are high or upper middle income countries. And then you can see India, you can see Pakistan and Kenya. So there is representation from everywhere. And we continue to keep that combination within the network. So in this slide, you can see the green names, the colored in green, Mire Yildirim from Turkey, Njoki from Kenya, and Ruzana from Armenia, and Alisa from Armenia. They are the co-chairs who started their role in this year after the elections. This is another change which has taken place most recently, is that the working group co-chair positions are advertised, nominations are asked, then the Global Health Network members, they vote. So it's elected members, elected leaders instead of nominated, as it used to be in the past. So that is another change which has taken place. Then you can see the names in purple, like Venki, Muhammad Al-Kudimat, and Nita. These are the co-chairs who are completing 3 years of their term. So they will step down in October 2024 meeting. So we are planning to arrange the replacement by nominations and elections, as we did in earlier this year for these green names who got elected just recently. Then you can see the two groups like pros and psychosocial well-being. So here the issue is that Bilal Bilal is also completing 3 years, but we will request him to continue. Reason being, Njoki has just recently joined. So to confirm that there is a smooth transition, to ensure the smooth transition, we don't want at the same time the two new leaders. Similarly, Ayushi is also completing, but Alisa just joined, so maybe Ayushi can stay for another year. So 2 groups already decided, research and innovation. Caitlin and Venki actually joined together because this group was formed in 2021. So they have mutually decided, and Venki will step down, and Caitlin will serve for another 1 year. And similarly, traditional and complementary medicine working group also has almost similar joining of both of them. So Muhammad Al-Kudimat has kindly agreed to step down, and he will be replaced, but Ahmad Farag will continue for another 1 year. So this is the transition, and I just highlighted these transitions in this slide. 3 positions for this year, which we will ask SIOP office to go for the nominations and elections, maybe around SIOP Congress or after SIOP Congress, we would have replacement. And then 2025, there will be lots and lots of transitions. Almost all groups, they will be have leadership replacement. And also next year will be the transition for the GHN co-chair, because I will be completing my 2nd term. So I will step down in October 2025. So the elections for 2025 will take place around February, March. I mean, nominations for the working groups as well as the elections for the GHN co-chair that will start, the process will start somewhere in February and March. So stay tuned and be ready if you're interested to run for any of these leadership positions within working groups or within GHN itself. So I would appreciate if there is any questions or suggestions before we move to the next item. I've spoken a lot so far. So Federico, Guillermo, or anybody, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can write in the chat box.
There's nothing in the chat, or there's not questions as of now. I don't know, Guillermo, do you want to add anything or we continue?
Oh, I think it was a great summary. Thank you, Sagir. And we are, of course, as always, supporting from the SIOP Secretariat. I think a tremendous amount of work is being done and new exciting projects are coming up. So I don't have anything in particular to add other than congratulate the whole team.
Thank you so much, Guillermo, for the big support for GHN under your leadership during SIOP. So I don't see any hand raised, so we can go forward. So another activity which was done earlier this year was SWOT analysis within GHN.
Sorry, Sahir, there is one question from Venus Mushininga, I think. Please, Venus.
Right. Thank you so much for that overview. I just wanted to check for the roles. Please confirm these are all voluntary roles. People are volunteering their time to advance the goals of SIOP. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Venus, for your question. Yeah, these are all voluntary roles by professionals, pediatric oncology professionals, to serve the areas of their interest. Even if you are a member, that's a voluntary contribution. If you are beneficiary or you are contributing, this is all sort of voluntary roles. And the leadership also, of course. Anyone who has time commitment before you run for any position, for instance, you will find some opportunity to talk to the leaders who are actually serving right now, and you can ask whatever the questions about how much time is required, or what are the priorities and preferences. This all happen. I remember Federico and I have meeting before Federico joined as a leader. So it's all voluntary role, and of course it's voluntary for yourself, but also that's very much contributing all the way for your professional career, for your professional nurturing, and getting involved in international levels. I hope that answers your question, but we can elaborate it further if you need further assistance or further explanation or elaboration. Right. For SWOT analysis, so let me congratulate all the working group leaders who have done a lot, especially for revising the terms of reference and carrying out so many activities this year or before, especially those who will be stepping down. We all acknowledge all their efforts and contributions to Global Health Network, and for whatever they did for the members of SIOP and SIOP Global Health Network. And we look forward to have more ambitious and innovative efforts in the future as well. So, and also I appreciate those who participated in this SWOT analysis. It was on a short call, and we got very good, very great sort of uh, inputs, suggestions, comments from this activity. So, what is the most flagged item, which most of the folks who participated in SWOT analysis, probably that represent the whole global health network itself, is the education, demand for education. And we see there are different sorts of education, but we were asked a lot about disease-specific education and some access to treatment protocols or guidance about the treatment approaches. And then, of course, research for low resource settings and clinical trials. Members' engagement is something very much important. We found out from the survey, because these survey was sent to SIOP GHN members, actually those who have subscribed. But 50% of the members were not aware what GHN itself is. So it is something which we need to raise awareness of the GHN, that what this is, what this network is, and how we can help and contribute. So we got engagement, surgeons, pharmacists, nurses, and policymakers, that is also asked. And regional collaboration is also something which people actually expressed. And of course, we need to go for SIOP Connect. Probably, I think this forum is not that, it is a great forum, but many folks are not aware of its benefits and how we can actually improve our collaboration and networking through this one. So there were some demands about survivorships and essential medicines also. Thankfully, we just, SIOP has just launched a survivorship network also. So those who are interested, probably they might be benefited from survivorship network itself. So there was some you say some audits for ourselves, and many of things are quite true, which have been expressed by some of our leaders also previously. So that popped up in that survey. Especially, it should not be a single-handed show with minimal engagement. Of course, that's very important. Having 1,000+ members with us, so it's not a task of one person or two people in the working groups or GHN. So we wish that several of the members could contribute actively in various activities. Different place activities across various working groups. So different pace and activities. Yes, sorry. So of course, that is also true that all working groups are not serving similarly at the same pace and same directions or same sort of momentum. So one is better than other. So of course, we have to gear up those who are not that efficiently contributing. And of course, that is true, not to focus on their own countries only. So it's basically a global thing. But of course, when you do some global aspects, you work for low resource settings, of course, you're getting something for your country and yourself also. But the focus should be on GHN Forum. It should not be like only on your own country. A working group left without guidance and accountability. That was happening with some groups, but it is not true now, because there are several ways to have direct interaction with the leaders within GHN and also governance committee. So, and also these at least three non-Congress activities is also. So these 7 groups will not be dormant anymore. They will be contributing and providing some sort of activities. And also some people ask for educational repositories, as we used to have in Cure for Kids. And we discussed last time in our leadership meeting also, and we are thinking maybe we can have something in SIOP Connect, where people can share the documents or papers or whatever. Then lack of engagement and ownership opportunities. That is also a good self-critique. We all know that it should not be kept without engagement, any working groups. So all working groups should be vibrant and trying to engage their members by various methods or various ways. Then should be more inclusive and action oriented. Of course, that's also very true point that we discussed last year in Ottawa in our annual assembly also. So, and disease-specific education, online tumor boards, or early diagnosis things, that is also replicated in that surveys in our SWOT analysis several times. So what have been actually that has been already discussed, but that needs to be needs implementation at the level of working groups is annual log frame of activities and deliverables by working group leaders that was created very nicely by Julia Chelinor, and that is available, and we will try to implement that one. Regular and scheduled meetings of working group co-chairs with GHN co-chairs and CSC members for progress monitoring, brainstorming, and guidance that we have started of late. We have been in touch with 3 working groups just recently in 3 or 4 months, and we will try to get engaged with others also, myself and Federico. Opportunities to contribute, collaborate with other networks and committees, that is always present, and that is something we encourage always. Most GHN members are unaware of how to engage in a meaningful way. So that's true. So that also needs to be changed by the way of engaging through SIOP Connect functionalities, including writing emails or personal messages or sharing some thoughts and ideas or asking for opinions. So virtual listening sessions with GHN members would allow the GHN co-chairs to hear from members who cannot make quarterly meetings that probably this quarterly meeting is the best time. We made it as an open forum because everyone can raise hand whosoever joins us, but we will think of something similar like SIOP's open forums with the leaders. The co-chair should be vigilant that personal research projects are not considered working group output. Guidance of the members to excel in their research orientation should be mandatory. Yeah, that is something we will ask the working group leaders when we will go for the annual assembly, that the research projects which are the personalized without engagement of working group, that doesn't need mentioning in working group meetings. It should be something by engagement of the working group itself, and some projects or research or publications coming out of the group should be considered as a working group report. Advocacy drives with the advocacy committee and other stakeholders is always feasible and quite doable. Right. So I got some personal messages also, so I will respond maybe in the end of the meeting or later on. So this is something about SWOT analysis. Anything to be added, Federico or any other member, about SWOT analysis? And thank you again for those who participated in this very nice engagement activity. And we learned a lot out of this.
Thank you, Sagir. Really nothing to add. I think it's a really nice summary you made there.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Regin, Guillermo, and Tessie for running this SWOT analysis. And we find a lot of stuff which will be useful for us as we move forward. So one thing which has been coming up quite frequently, and it is something very much demanded, and we had a short brief meeting, Guillermo, Federico, and I, and we have several meetings together for over last 2-3 months about anything which could be disease-specific learning. SIOP has a lot of educational things, but probably this is only during SIOP Congress. So I just want to emphasize a little bit over it. So as I showed you.
Shahir, sorry, before you continue, I want to read A comment in the chat. Thanks for the SWOT analysis. This is by Neil Rana Singh. I hope I pronounced well. What will you do differently in the future?
Yeah, thank you so much, Neil. Thank you so much, Neil, for your point, and we love your inputs always. That is where I'm actually focusing now. This is disease-specific learning, which is asked, and of course, the points which I highlighted in the slide on critique and self-audit. Of course, these are all worthy points. It's not for us, but also for all working groups. So we have to take care of these, and we will try to make them implemented to have more engagement, less personalization, and more globalization, something like that at all levels. And of course, that is now possible after this invent of SIOP Connect. So I hope we will be different. I hope that that answers your questions a little bit, but of course, that needs a lot more discussion. And I know you have so many questions in your mind, which we need to discuss. Thank you, Neil. So based on the SWOT analysis, I'm just highlighted what is the main area of demand. And if we go a little bit in the past, we had very successful SIOP Cedar project, which concluded last year. Yes, Bilal, I'm coming to that point. So for Cedar, we had the feedbacks from the participants. You know, this was basically something, if you are aware of Cedar, it's a SIOP Childhood Cancer Early Diagnosis and Appropriate Referral Project, which was conducted as a joint activity of SIOP and International Pediatric Association. We did 7 webinars on which included focused on 6 WHO index cancers, very well attended. The participation was from 250 to 400 persons in each meeting. And we found the responses out of those surveys at the end of the webinars. And what we you see in Slido based on the demands. So you can see hematologic malignancies. This is something what education you want to have in the future from SIOP. Then solid tumors, treatment guidance, supportive care, so on and so forth. And if you go for further analysis showed some high demands for solid tumor education, treatment guidance, hematologic malignancies, cancer diagnosis. So these were all very well asked. People want to get this information in these areas. And of course, as I tell you, it was not only pediatricians. There were a lot of pediatric oncologists we captured. We just get engaged in these meetings. So it was asked from so many people, from all professionals, professional spheres. So this disease-specific learning is something highly demanded. Whatever you do, people are asking, especially those in low resource settings. People need practical guidance for their problems and some queries. So regional and individual groups exist on various diseases with great impact. I will show some of those as key players. So some expert panels with professionals, engagement of professionals in low resource settings could be something which is probably the need of the hour. As we are moving along, there is a lot of things going on for advocacy. So the professional should be aware of the tumors itself. And then, of course, any such activity which is based on, engaging people, that helps in professional nurturing individually as well as at institutional or country levels. So the best example I should quote is the Global Neuroblastoma Network. This was a nice paper published last year. This forum started in 2010, and in 11 years, they were focusing on neuroblastoma, and they were running mostly the tumor boards, virtual tumor boards with case discussion. And also they select sometimes the topics of interest like supportive care, some multidisciplinary engagement, surgery, radiology, pathology, and many other stuff. So that has been proven a great impact on the neuroblastoma, especially for low resource settings. So very frankly, I got a lot of nurturing by this GNN starting from 2012. I was telling Guillermo that that was my first meeting outside Pakistan, and this was my first interaction with Guillermo and many people. So any such activity which generates engagement on discussions and that contributes a lot for your patients and yourself also. Similarly, there have been some some publications based on video teleconferencing. It's basically institutional experience, but that contributed a lot. You can see this experience came up from Jordan, and this is most recent from Pakistan Neuro-Oncology Society. That's a forum of 7 years of training program, and that is basically a similar sort of tumor board initially, but that turned out to be a great forum for education and delivering a lot of knowledge and information. That was basically started by Noreen Mushtaq from Pakistan and Eric Buffet from Sick Kids. So that has proven a lot of impact. And similarly, some others on retinoblastoma and ALL and many others we see in Latin America and also in Africa. So there have been many efforts. One is CanCare Africa, if I just not to forget about it, on Wilms tumor. So many forums which were actually for disease, only for disease-related discussions or problem-based discussions that have evolved a lot in the past years. So SIOP is the only global society with focus on all resource settings. So we have more than 3,000 members. Congratulations, we have reached the record-breaking numbers right now. So SIOP has experts on all diseases, all tumors, of course. We have some logistics and resources existing, but of course that can go, we can capitalize a lot in the future years. So encouragement to join and get engaged. So probably that is something we are thinking under Global Health Network, that we can provide some similar sort of portal which can serve something. This is something which we have suggested. It's open for your thoughts and suggestions. Disease-specific portal for learning and networking. DISPLAN, that will be the acronym. So why GHN? Our focus is low resource settings. Our scope is to help professionals in low resource settings. We are already providing avenues for pediatric oncology professionals, but not on disease-specific aspects. So learning avenues for pediatric cancers, initially directed, but not limited to WHO index cancers. So that could be a provision of learning forum on various aspects of common curable cancers, case-based discussion forums, diagnosis and referral pathway discussion and strategies, advanced diagnostics and therapeutic modalities, and could it be in the future be the research avenues for engagement of low resource settings folks. So the starting point which we have discussed, and that at the level of SIOP and also at relatively regional levels, we have been talking about globalizing the small groups or regional efforts to make it under SIOP. And of course, the ultimate goal will be interact with global stakeholders and initiatives. Like GICC, of course, SIOP has a potential to engage so many professionals around the globe from all countries, from around 150 countries who are represented in SIOP, and then get them engaged in various activities, exercises. And when it is going to be delivered, like my friend Michael is running that SIOP St. Jude ARIA project. So who will be the beneficiaries? How it will be disseminated? So probably we can help serving many aspects of care, which will evolve in the future years. So the stakeholders engagement, pediatric oncologists at the top. For case-based discussions, we can involve IPSO and PROS, neurosurgeons, ophthalmologists for various diseases, as Bilal was asking. So of course, PROS needs a lot more role. Yes, yes. My friend from Bangladesh is asking about this. Yeah, that will be basically the discussion forum for the difficult cases or scenarios, but how we will do, we are just working on it. So it will be driven by GHN with support of SIOP leadership and SIOP secretariat in collaboration with continental branches and regional and international stakeholders. Um, um, so so this could be suggested way forward with disease-specific learning and networking session we are conducting on SIOP Education Day. I will just share with that in the end of the meeting in the next agenda points. So we have a session dedicated on day. It's session 4 on Education Day. So please join us. So that is titled as disease-specific learning and networking. So we have invited Dr. Noreen Mushtaq. I think she's with us this meeting also, if I'm not mistaken. And also Trini's Reels, and we're talking, and also we are inviting the International Society of Ocular Oncology representation for discussion about various campaigns which have been already existing and how to move forward. So I'm glad that I have discussed this with Trin and Noreen in the meantime. And Noreen Mushtaq, they are doing a splendid work in Pakistan and in the region with the engagement of so many professionals on neuro-oncology. They have everything which I have actually mentioned here about the discussion on various aspects of diseases, the case discussion, engagement, research projects, and many other stuff. And also Training Steel, they have done a lot in Wilms Tumor Africa project. So could it be something which is already existing? We just capitalize on those and try to make them globalize, and then we can move forward with a lot more resources, discussion with Secretariat and all those support. Also, I have proposed being a scientific committee member for SIOP Asia 2025, which is taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia next year in April. So I'm suggesting some discipline sessions. That will be the discussion on disease on difficult cases, and we are just talking about the way to carry it out during the continental meeting. So Guillermo, I, and Federico, we have been discussion about technical assistance or portals, and I really appreciate and thank Guillermo for his support and his his encouragement for this very project. So potentially it could be translated in some other languages if we go along. And then continental branches involvement, especially SIOP Europe and TELAIO educational contents can also be added at some place. And also PARC committee, which is focused on research, can also be engaged. So that is something about this plan. The idea was there, but it's capitalized after SWOT analysis. So again, thank you to those who contributed. And we can pause here for some time for some suggestions or comments before we go forward. I see there is something in the chat.
Yeah, there's one comment in the chat from Ulku. Thank you very much for this very informative meeting. I have shared my future proposal for palliative care working group with Sahir, Federico, and my co-chair Michael. As soon as I start working as a co-chair, I'm very excited about your opinions and feedbacks on them.
Thank you so much. That's really great. We like innovative leaders like you to just moving the working group on the next levels. Thank you for all your inputs, and of course we will be we will love to work together in all working groups, this palliative and all other groups. So any thoughts, suggestions on this plan? We would appreciate. Of course, we wish to move it faster. So maybe we can have some activity in next couple of months before Congress. And of course, there will be more options to discuss during our Hawaii meeting. Yeah, Gurma, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much, Sagir. As we discussed, I think this is a great initiative. something that I think will be very well valued by our members. I imagine this activity like giving a focus on global health to the different diseases, starting probably with the 6 pediatric tumors from the GICC, also in very close alignment with ARIA. So this can be really a very powerful tool for the Global Health Network, and I'm very happy to support it, to find a way of from the SIOP backend to have a good product that we can offer to our members. So I really very supportive to this initiative.
Thank you so much, Gurman. Thank you for all your support, help, and guidance. Of course, that is the way we can actually evolve this into a very impactful and effective portal. So, any further? Yeah.
There's a comment in the chat. Great to learn about disease-specific learning program. Should we include case-based discussion here for difficult and unusual cases?
Yes, of course. That is basically the intent. But of course, how it will be carried out, that is under discussion. Of course, that is basically ambition, that we provide the practical guidance to the folks in GHN. I see Regin's hand raised. Regin, thanks for joining, and of course, we need your input on this.
Hello, everyone. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. Thank you, Sagir and Federico, for this meeting. It is very well. The SWOT analysis results, I think, have guided us quite well, especially in the need of education, because as you have said, most of our members have emphasized on the need of education. So these specific learning, I think, I also support it a lot. And I think it will be very helpful for our members, but they will benefit from it. Will there be, as we have always say, we want member engagement and also collaboration within committees, networks, and working groups. Will there be a collaboration with the educational committee as well? Have you discussed any about it? This is just newly forming, so I mean, there may not have been any time to discuss the details, but just what do you think about it?
Yes, of course. We are happy to collaborate with the Education and Training Committee. But of course, there are so many educational drives already underway in GHN. So we are happy to contribute to collaborate with them also. Maybe some joint ventures together. That's really will help us to move forward. That's a good point. Thank you, Regin, for bringing that.
Thank you.
So any further comments? Any comments? I can see Noreen. Noreen, you have any suggestions? Thank you for joining in GHN meeting. Noreen, as I mentioned, is leading that initiative in Pakistan Neuro-Oncology Forum, which is quite a bit at international levels, with a lot of education and disease-specific discussions and case-based discussions or something like that. Noreen, you want to add something, or you want to suggest?
Thank you so much, Samir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ben?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So thank you for letting me join this meeting. And yes, we do have two goals, international goals, encompassing all the team centers across Pakistan, in which people are basically discussing their own brain tumor cases. And not only this, for the last 4 to 5 years, we have been doing continuous lecture series for the pediatric oncology, but we have stopped it in 2022. So it's around 40 lecture series attended by more than 2,000 participants around the world. So our team is more than happy to contribute.
Noreen, sorry to interrupt you, but we cannot hear you very well. There is some problem with the sound. Can you be closer to the microphone?
Can you hear me now?
I think now is better.
It's better? Okay. So thank
Yes.
you so for asking, Saveer. And so our team is more than happy to contribute. We do have our national tumor boards. And for the last 4 to 5 years, we have discussed more than 500 cases. So these kind of initiative will help many across the globe. And not only this, but I would suggest that, as you mentioned about the guidelines, so, we also have to work on these guidelines for the resource limiting settings. So really, really thankful for this opportunity, and my group, myself, Bilal, Khurram, and all of my colleagues for the neuro-oncology are more than happy to participate.
Thank you so much, Noreen. I really appreciate. And of course, only note, like, I think there will be avenues, like, for instance, neuro-oncology. I can see a lot more small groups which can be engaged together at one time. So it will be like, as I said, it's from regional to globalization, something like that, for efforts on disease-specific aspects.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sameer, I just attended the SNOSA meeting. SNOSA is the Society of Neuro-Oncology of Sub-Saharan Africa. And, many of the African colleagues are really, really interested in learning about pediatric neuro-oncology. It's not only neuro-oncology, but, it's generally pediatric oncology. So, we can cooperate, and, we can invite those groups also to be part of SIOP.
Yes, definitely. So that will be a membership drive also, because if you are offering people something on a consistent basis, so probably that will increase the traffic, that will increase the more memberships and also membership engagement. So there will be a lot of benefits, I believe, out of this. So this is something we dream of, that it will be serving something at a global scale, and it will be like people should be owning more SIOP than right now, especially for low resource settings. So let's see, and we'll keep discussing. Maybe we can put a small task force to discuss and materialize it as quickly, and we'll invite some of you in that, and also volunteers are all welcomed for strategic discussion with us.
Thank you.
So any further suggestions on this, or we move forward? It's almost 1 hour. So maybe I can go to my screen again. Okay. So our next point, agenda point, is discussing about membership engagement. And as I discussed, we have these 7 groups. So maybe I invite each working group to just briefly describe what are their strategies right now, without the slides, of course. So and what are actually ambitions in next months, and so, especially, all the groups are almost renewed with the membership. The leadership has all in transition, or new leaders have come up. So let me request the working group leaders to speak a little bit on their group's behalf. So I think we have Michael McNeil. Michael, you want to just say something about palliative care working group?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. Also happy to defer to Mariah, as you saw in the chat. She's doing phenomenal work and continuing to engage our working group with new and innovative ideas. I think some of the biggest things that we've had success with over the last few months are webinars, just kind of launching regular webinars with experts. We had a wonderfully attended session from Dr. Krithika Rao from India, describing the context of developing pediatric palliative care in India. And next week, we'll have Dr. Justin Baker talk about the intersection and integration of palliative care for children with cancer. And so Mariah's really been spearheading this work, and I'm just kind of riding her coattails. And so Mariah, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to say about the group.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Michael. Thank you very much. It's very nice to be with you and see all of you here. And yes, we are organizing some webinars, educational webinars, and I have shared with you, and thank you, Michael. We have discussed my future proposals several months ago when I first started to be the co-chair. And I have also emailed them to Sagir and Federico, and we have really much things to do for palliative care. We can meet in the future. Thank you very much for your support, for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much. It will be great to just just augment our educational offerings to palliative on the palliative care. Nice work. Thanks for all your contributions, and we'll look forward to many more, as you're saying.
Thank you.
Then research and innovation. I think we have Venki with us. Venki?
Yeah. Hello, good morning, good evening, all. So we are a very young group. We started 3 years back, and it was Dr. Sagir's idea to start it. We were young LMIC, and now we have blossomed to be the research and innovation, and we are all inclusive. Everyone who's interested in research and innovation in LMIC, whether you're working in LMIC or high income countries, is invited to be part of the group. We have had last 2 SIOP meetings, we had our own sessions, which was well attended. The halls were full, gave an opportunity for many people to participate. And we also had regular webinars where we call one of the young researchers and a fireside chat with a senior researcher. We have a very vibrant WhatsApp group. I would call it a community of LMIC researchers where we share ideas, webinars, meetings, seminars, ask questions, So, I think this group has great potential to grow. We have, I think, more than 300 members in our WhatsApp group now. And it's one, I would call it, a fun place for where you can come and get your answer, the queries solved. You just put a question and somebody's there to give you an answer. So yeah, the future is bright for this group, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Venkat. Yeah, definitely, you guys contributed a lot, done a lot in last 3 years, and it's real applause for both of you and all the working group members. And the WhatsApp, I'm a part of it. And it's really very, 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 very interactive all the time. So thank you so much, Venkat. And then pros, I think Bilal is with us, and also Nijoki.
Yeah, I'm here and Joki is here too. So I think we are having a great time at different venues in different regions. Joki was there along with Janet Park for radiation oncology section of the recently held Sanosa meeting in Zimbabwe. And in South Africa, previous month, SIOP Africa also had a radiation oncology treatment planning educational activity for the radiation oncologist in Joburg. We recently also had the PROS meeting where we had more than any previous conference number of LMIC sessions. There was a dedicated LMIC session where there was presentation from IAEA, and then we talked about ARIA in full session, and then some LMIC folks shared their experience, including Brazil and Thailand and some other areas about proton therapy developing in those regions. I recently also had a pediatric sarcoma regional workshop, which was a completely online activity completing today with hands-on experience. And more than that, we have started a lecture series, which is a collaboration between cross working group of Global Health Network, West Germany Proton Center in Essen, and Pediatric Radiation Oncology Society. The first lecture was in early July by Dr. Beate Timmerman. It is a sequence of alternative activities on education of radiation oncology about CNS and non-CNS tumors. So maybe, and I would also like to appreciate the sponsorship we had from a company called TBA and PROS itself to have scholarships available for LMIC attendees to participate in the cross conference in Honolulu, as well as the recently held Sydney conference. We have an education day planned for Honolulu conference. So these are some of the things I wanted to share. Maybe Jyoti, you want to add on something?
Thanks, Bilal. I think you've adequately represented our group, and that's what we are working on, apart from mobilizing people from within our different regions to ensure that there is participation and ownership of the process. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Bilal. Thank you so much, Jyoti. And Bilal, we were talking something about having the PROS working group collaborating with the Middle Eastern Society of Therapeutic Radiation Oncology and doing some sort of, sort of need evaluation things. So that would also be great if we can do it within GHN.
Just to add, Dr. Reel, for the futuristic things coming up, for the SIOP Asia coming up in Riyadh next time, and the MISFO conference, we are trying to have the really dedicated local treatment workshop with radiation oncology, as well as at the regional poem meeting, so that we had adequate radiation oncology presence in all the pediatric oncology scientific meeting and learning session. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And looking forward to engage you in this plan also, as you already shown your intent. Yeah, thank you. Then TNCM, traditional and complementary medicine. I think Dr. Ahmed is with us, Dr. Ahmed Farag. Or
yes, thank you. I'm here. Thank you again, and also great thanks to my colleague Mohammed Al-Qudaimat, the co-chair also of the TNCM working group. During the last years, we were successful to involve much more members to our group, which is very important also for our group to have members from all over the world, because it's about traditional and complementary medicine. We have now really members from Africa, Asia, North and South America, and Europe. We have started to do a systematic review just to know where are the deficiencies in information about the use of TNCM in the pediatric oncology. We have our regular meetings about 4 times per year. We have invited several experts from different areas of the world, and we have some collaborative meeting with other groups. And we are going now in research projects in many countries with these deficiencies in information about the use of TNCM. For example, in Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and Jordan. We have several posters and oral presentation during this site this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmed and Muhammad also for great, vibrant leadership, because it's a great example of engagement of membership within the working group. They have very consistent educational activities, the journal clubs, and some research projects. So congratulations, very nicely done. And then partnership, we have Nita or Cesar with us.
I don't see them on the participants.
Okay, so this partnership group has also evolved. They have revised their complexion, I would say, because they have decided their focus, how they can engage different national societies, and their terms of reference is just finalized. So I hope a lot of things to be coming up from partnership, and this partnership will be also contributing in discipline, I believe, as we move along. Then adolescent and young adults, we have Rosanna with us. I think Gabby was just in the flight,
Yeah, it
probably.
was just landing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
Rosanna.
so much. And really, I'm so grateful to Gabi for helping with me because it would be really hard for me to know everything about this working groups, how it works and everything. And without her help, it would be difficult. So what we did within our working group, as far as you know, there within last months, there was an awareness week of the problems of adolescent young adults. So we had a very interactive interview with Carmen Monga, who is the representative for Youth Cancer Europe. This is an organization basically where the cancer survivors are adolescent young adult, and this was very important interview, and this was distributed via YouTube, and OncoDaily also help us with that. We are having the webinars, and yet we had the webinar in the Latin America, so we have decided to concentrate on each areas. The Asia adolescent young adult working group Asia is coming in September, so we'll have a webinar in September. And of course, this is for registered members. So for this one, those who will be the SIOP member will be able to join these webinars. Apart from this, we are going to work on a paper because having a paper as a group is an important thing to bring people's attention on what we are working on, because many people, even SIOP members, would not know about these working groups that exist and what they are doing. So in my opinion, it's important to have a paper published about the work, about the problems. So what we have decided to do is to have since I'm also representing the Asian countries, so I've decided to start with to concentrate on the problems and barriers of adolescent young adults in Asian countries, because for instance, Europe has really so many really amazing papers about this, but unfortunately you won't find many papers about the Asian countries. So paper is another important thing to have within our group. And last but not least, we are going to have our charlas de café or coffee talks. And what does this mean? That this is going to be an open question with people. It can be survivors, doctors, and it can we are going to concentrate on one problem and only 20 minutes. So this would be help to engage more people, because I mean webinars, of course, it's nice, but on the other hand, to have a short talks and later on to share this would be also important to engage more people on the problems that adolescent young adults do have. So these are our like plans for the future and what we did so far.
Thank you so much, Rosanna, for the innovative ideas and plans. And I think you can effectively use SIOP Connect to disseminate whatever you guys are doing. That's really nice forum to connect the working group members, especially you're doing some activities, you're doing some publications, so other members can also contribute.
Yeah,
Get them
and
engaged.
this is important thing because one thing also that I forgot to mention, that about the working group is not going to be just two people, just two co-chair that are going to do the work. The important thing is to engage more people to be part of your working group and help you with the all the activities that you are doing. And we are really lucky that our working group also, all people who are joining our meetings regular that we are doing monthly, they are all active and want to contribute in this working group activities.
Excellent, excellent. I really appreciate all this. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
And
There's a
then,
question in the chat, sorry.
yes. Yeah,
Is there any working group for survivors?
Yeah, I alluded to that because SIOP has just initiated a new network, that is survivorship network. So probably that will be covering a lot of stuff which is related to survivorship. Yeah, Prajan, you want to elaborate it further?
Yeah, let me tell you that there was a petition for a new network to be formed on survivorship with very esteemed leaders in survivorship, and it has gone through the board and the governance committee, and the survivorship network was approved and the terms of reference were approved, and now there are the elections. It's about the deadline, almost the deadline is approaching, so people that are experienced and interested in survivorship should please nominate them yourself or nominate some people for the elections. And even if you are do not if you are not in the steering group, as members, you can contribute always to that network. That is very important. That was something that we were missing, so it will fill a gap. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And another one is on epidemiology, that is also in information. So those who are interested in epidemiology network, they can also be part of that.
Yeah, and the epidemiology network has been newly formed, and the elections are just over. And so everyone that wants to contribute to the epidemiology and outcomes network is also invited to be as members. Thank you, Sagir, for announcing those.
Thank you so much, Rajin. And then psychosocial well-being working group, we have Ayushi with us, or Alisa?
Yeah, hello
Ayushi.
everyone.
Yeah.
Hi. Thank you, Saisa. So I would first like to congratulate all the working groups for doing such a tremendous job, and I'm very happy to let you all know that Alisa is a new co-chair who has just been heading the group with me. As soon as she joined, it was very helpful for us to increase our community. Our membership has increased in both WhatsApp group as well as to our SIOP Connect. We have more than 250 members in the SIOP Connect group, and our WhatsApp group has grown to almost 80 plus members. Especially the WhatsApp new SIOP community which has come up, engagement is going even on the high side. So we have been organizing a lot of educational webinars. We had one in July, which was taken by Nikki from St. Jude, and we have another educational webinar planned for the August. So from the futuristic point of view, we are trying to have at least one educational webinar every month. Also, we plan to have more of research and publication from what we are doing, because as someone mentioned, it's very important to show the work that you are doing in order to bring the attention. And what I've also thought through the SWOT analysis, which you were just discussing, that maybe we also need to plan some workshops, like a day or two workshop within our group to, again, increase the interaction among the members and engagement. So yeah, me and Alisa are going to work on that. And Alisa, if there is something else you want to add, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to speak as a newly elected co-chair of psychosocial working group. Thanks, Ayushi, for presenting what we have done so far. I will just add that we're also considering to organize some case discussion meetings. We think that it will encourage more people to join the group. We have successfully used SIOP Asia Congress for encouraging lots of people to join to psychosocial working group. A lot of people with whom I was networking, I was presenting the group, and lots of them attended the webinar in July. And the other thing, that continuing what Rosanna was saying, we also encourage group members to present, and our next speaker in August will be one of our group members, our colleague from Peru. So being encouraged to present themselves will give more motivation to people to join the working group.
And I would just like to add that for the upcoming SIOP 2024 Honolulu, I'm very happy that our group, along with the palliative care group and the research and innovation group, is going to be a part of the educational day program.
Yes, thank you so much, Ayushi. Thank you, Elisa. And definitely that's these initiatives, because that group was little inactive in last year or so. So thank you for just creating some momentum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then if we have any suggestions or comments, we can take. Otherwise, we'll go to the next agenda item, that is SIOP 2024. I don't think anything in chat box. Anything for Federico or anyone else?
No comments, no hands raised.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So SIOP GHN Annual Assembly. So we have been very thoughtful of having day -2 as we always conventionally do. So I did a little survey within the working group leaders. Uh, out of 17, we found that it's only 10 who are attending an in-person meeting in Hawaii. So it's around less than 60%. So we expect the same, maybe because of cost involved and especially from low resource settings, LMICs, participation might not be that strong. And coming a day before and spending an extra budget probably might not be that useful thing in that Hawaii meeting. So only for this Hawaii meeting, we have switched the gears, so it will not be day -2 this year. So we are going to have virtual SIOP annual assembly that will take place on 5th of October. Since it is Saturday. So we'll finalize the time and we'll share. So just save this date on your calendars. That will be 3 hours meeting. So replacing the annual assembly, which is always 3 hours. So in this meeting, we will share the agenda, but of course, the main agenda item in that annual assembly is the working group reports. So we really look forward to listen more details from all the working groups. And hopefully in these 2 months, we would have more engagement and more members, not only the members, but also the active members who can contribute, as most of the leaders were just talking about. So just save this date as a virtual General Assembly. Then I think, was it wrongly written? Yes, sorry. It's 2024. 2024, it's not 25. Thank you, Ahmed, for correcting. Yeah, that is typo. About GHN scholarships, which is the salient feature of SIOP conferences based on the abstract submitted. So these abstracts are scored by the scientific committee, scientific program advisory committee. Then that scoring is sent to you, sent to us actually. Then we review, scan it, multiple filters applied, and then we select 20 scholarships. That is from low and lower middle income countries. So this year we have selected 20 scholarships from 16 countries, because we have 3 from India, 2 from Pakistan, and 2 for Nigeria. Other countries share 1 scholarship from each. And the rubric that maximum 3 abstracts from a country and no more than 1 abstract from an institution. And then no scholarship is rewarded if you have got it in last 5 years. So based on all these criteria, we have selected these 20 scholarships. We all congratulate to all those winners, and hopefully we really look forward to see them in Hawaii. Congratulations. Then about SIOP Education Day, which will be day -1. It will be 17th of October 2024. So as we conventionally do, we have 4 regular sessions and 1 special session on that day on Global Health Network track. So the first session will be best of free paper session, which is usually very well attended, and hopefully so this year also. So it will be on the first, the first morning session. We have already selected 2 abstracts. So basically the structure is we take 1 abstract from UMICs and 2 from LMICs and 1 from LIC. So 2 are already finalized and 2 more will be just announced shortly. So congratulations, Vanki and Chris, and we look forward to listen from you on that day. Then the second session, it's basically joint session with Young SIOP Network, and there are some other groups also involved, CCI, SIOP Nursing, Supportive Care. So this is a joint session, which is always a feature, the second session, which is in the big room, and that is very well attended. This time, Gabby led it, Gabby and some others from Young SIOP Network. So it is titled as Navigating Oncology Access to Care, Addressing Struggles and Exploring Solutions. So details we will share soon. I think it's already finalized, but I didn't find it, the final program to write it here. So it will be a very exciting session at GHN. Then the third session is addressing psychosocial well-being of pediatric oncology multidisciplinary professionals. So this is also the first of its kind during GHN education track, and we are focusing on low resource settings in addition to other settings also. So this is third session. It is, as Ayushi pointed out, it will be joint session by 3 working groups within GHN, research and innovation, palliative care, and psychosocial well-being. So you can see they have designed, like, it will be an introduction and video message from 3 pediatric oncology leaders. By the way, we haven't actually finalized the names. We have thought of that will be about the burnouts they have experienced during their professional careers, and there will be 2 talks, and then it will be a very interactive part, which will be developing and practicing self-care strategies, led by Lynn Embry from US. And you can see the big names in psychosocial care. So I hope that will be very, very interactive and very well taken, very well received session again. And then the fourth session, as I already alluded to, it's a disease-specific learning and education. So that will, we have invited 3 speakers, and we are looking for some more during the interactive panel discussion. And the last is a special session that is just before the inauguration. So the timing which have been given is from, thanks to Suzanne, she has selected 1 hour from 5:45 to 6:45, and it's something which we did last year, very, very effective. Updates on global pediatric oncology campaigns. So it will be moderated by Kathy Pritchard-Jones and Federico. Kathy has suggested maybe we can push it a little bit earlier, so that we finish it well before to reach into the inauguration. So we will try to engage the most active initiatives around the globe, including GICC, then Essential Medicine, PARC, Global Mapping, and ARIA, and then discussion. It's only 1 hour, so it will be very quick session with quick updates on those. And then there will be some other sessions which are quite related to GHN. One is Hans-Peter Wagner Award session. That will be 1 abstract selected. And then we would have GHN update session. We have asked for it, but most likely we will find some time, like 1 hour, where we can just update to all the Congress. You know, that will be open session, anybody can join. And then GHN steering or advisory group meeting, that will be a closed meeting. We're just finding the place for that. And then, of course, SIOP business meeting, annual business meeting. That is, you know, it's important for everyone. So we are left with only 3 minutes. So any other points? So one thing is raised by, it's always raised actually. We're discussing it since I joined, like this 7th year into GHN, starting from the PODC elect position. So we are always talking about the best timing for quarterly meetings, which suits most of the folks. So probably we are too late for some Asian countries tonight, and too early for Latin Americans or North Americans, or especially Australia and New Zealand, Oceania. So if you have any suggestions, I got a nice suggestion from Anelia this morning, having something like 1 p.m. UCT time, GMT time, which is close to, you know, most people can join. So anyhow, we will ask for suggestions for the next quarterly meeting, which will come up somewhere around December this year. So just send your feedback about the better timing. But for the 3 hours meeting, it will be somewhere in the middle of the day for you know, my part of the world. In Asia, it will be like 12 to 3, so the time. But we will decide about the timing. But mind it is 3 hours. Then, as I said, SIOP Asia 2025 taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So we are something to do on Education Day. One thing I already proposed about when we get matured on this discipline. And then another thing is about something about research. I proposed to engage Asian Pediatric Hematology Oncology Group, and also possibly our Research and Innovation Working Group, together with the local scientific committee, local organizing committee, to do something unique for on research methodology. It will be not the conventional methodology workshop, rather something different. So we have to discuss further on it, maybe next 2-3 weeks. I would like to get engaged with Caitlin and Venki, and also if someone else in the group in other groups can also want to give some suggestions and ideas. I will share some thoughts on it. And one is about discipline. I will try to phrase like 1 to 2 pages of proposal to share it with SIOP leadership. Already, Guillermo is engaged with us, is very much supporting, and also Regine is aware, and she will also guide us. But we need something formal. So I will ask your help to finalize that draft maybe in the next couple of days or so. So any other thoughts or suggestions before we conclude? We are just in time. So I would love to hear from you if you have any suggestions, thoughts, anyone from this you who are participating. Anything, Federico, Guillermo, Regine, or anybody else?
No, great summary, Sahir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the same. Great work. Thank you.
I've got one comment.
Yeah, please, Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the problems that people have mentioned is a lack of communication, and we've now got Connect, which we can all use. And I know you guys, so I can communicate with you guys well, but I don't see hardly any messages from the Global Health Network. If I look at Connect, I think there's maybe 1 or 2. There's hardly anything. And this is the first meeting we've had in 6 months. And we've got over 1,000 members, but there's only 30 of us here. So I think all these things are connected. So my request is just please communicate a lot more and have more meetings. So I think it's valuable communicating with the working group chairs, but there's a lot of other people who aren't the working group chairs and aren't in the working groups who also want to help. And at the moment, it just feels as though I'm not needed, or we're surplus to requirements. So my request is just communicate a lot more with everyone, not just the working groups, with the whole membership, and everyone would appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Neil. This is very, very valid point. And of course, we wish to excel on it. For 6 months, of course, as I apologize in the beginning, that was a lot of discussions going on, but we will continue at quarterly meetings, of course. And if we go through that discipline, then of course, in addition to administrative, we would have some educational and scientific sessions also for get better engagement and using Connect. Yeah, of course, we need to use it more. Thank you so much for raising your voice on this. You are always you're always advising on such like aspects. Thank you.
Thanks.
And then, of course, this is a memory, and we would have more memories, hopefully, in Hawaii. So looking forward to see you together, and we would have another great group photo like we took it in Ottawa. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your contributions, your help, your comments and suggestions. We look forward to more contributions and engagement of you guys, and also many more within GHN. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Sakir, Federico, and all. And we are waiting for the terms of reference to be finished this month, hopefully. So we are all on track. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course, we're working on those, Regine. Yeah, that will be, that's a promise, we will fulfill it.
Good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Tessie for.
See you all soon, hopefully, on Zoom or in person. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.